Central Bank of Nigeria says it is reviewing funding requests by local researchers to support the development of vaccines and drugs for COVID-19. This day newspaper had last week reported that paucity of funding had hampered efforts of the nation's major research institutions to develop vaccines and curative drugs for the disease. But the CBN governor, Mr. Godwin Emefiele, in a telephone chat with This Day yesterday said the bank was perusing applications for funding by world-class Nigerian private and public research organizations interested in the development of vaccines and drugs to fight the pandemic. Federal government is to constitute a presidential committee to advise on the implementation of the recommendations of the Steve Oronsaye panel on the rationalization of ministries, agencies, and parastatals. However, the Minister of Labour and Employment, Dr. Chris Ngige, has assured the public that the merger and scrapping of MDAs will not lead to job losses. And still in Nigeria, banks' interest income from investment securities has fallen for the first time in 5 years, as the regulator may be reluctant to reverse some stringent policies in the face of the economic crisis caused by COVID-19. For the first 3 months through March 2020, the largest lenders in Africa's biggest economy realized 209 billion naira in interest income from short-term government securities, about a 1.79% reduction from 213 billion made in the previous year. And also, we're going to be discussing the central bank's reassurance to foreign portfolio investors that they'll be able to repatriate their funds out of the country as needed. Arise business analyst Chika Mbonu joins me now to discuss this further. Chika, welcome. So much to discuss. Where would you like to start? Would you like to begin with the repatriation, or the central bank wanting to look at possibly funding development, assisting development of COVID-19 vaccines, or the interest income of banks? So much to discuss today. You're welcome. Why about we start with the repatriation of funds by the central bank, saying that foreign investors can be assured that if they want to leave, they will be able to.
We talked about this in this program, several times now, and they're arising from the falling oil prices. Of course, our reserves started falling, and the CBN started doing demand management. And in that process, one of the windows that suffered was the I&E window. We as CBN used to intervene to provide liquidity. And then for some time now, there have been more outgoings than in inflows. A lot of them want to take their money out than bringing money in. And so liquidity in the market has been very, very weak. We hear that from about $300 million used to be daily. The kind of daily volumes we're seeing now is about $20 million. So yes, you also know that we're suffering from the consequences of focusing on FPIs, foreign portfolio investors, yes, who are known as hot money, compared to foreign direct investors who stay, in the country, whether there's no matter through thick and thin. Yes. And so these guys, there have been maturities of the investment strategies and so on, or even stock the bought, and they need to send their naira into dollars and send abroad, and there hasn't been liquidity in the market. And so it's important. What the CBN has done is very important, and said, see, we'll let you get your money. You will never lose money. Yes. But sadly, this is 2015, 2016 repeated. We are going around in circles, as we talked about in this program the other day. And sadly, this is the kind of thing that happened in 2015, 2016. The CBN guaranteed everybody going to get the money. They're going to get it. They got it ultimately. But it says this, be patient. And he gave an example of that. If there's a fire in a place and everyone wants to rush at the same time, people are going to die. So he says, be calm. You're going to get your money ultimately. Okay. But you see, the contract wasn't like that. The contract was that if you want to, send our money, as and when you can get it. But these are unusual situations, and then we hope that the foreign portfolio investors will understand. But the issue is that when the window opens properly again, I hope they will be able to come again. But at least it's reassuring. And this was a necessary very necessary step. Right. He's done the right thing by reassuring the investors. Okay. Now, let me also ask you this. With regard, let's also talk about the vaccines now. The central bank is saying they want to fund possible development of them. I think, what do you think? It helps? The truth is that our research institutes, you need to visit them and I'm looking for the right word. It is sad at the miserable state most of them are. underfunded. Yes. And even sometimes when some of the funds are given, some little funds are given, are not used for what it's meant for to be used. I guess, as a lot of people have spoken about, we need to look at local solutions for our problems, for this COVID. Look at Madagascar. It's working for them. Senegal, they have their own solutions. So it's in that respect also that the CBN is encouraged to support these our local research institutions, to find local solutions to these our problems. And so that's basically what it is. CBN needs to support them because most of them, there's paucity of funds. Some of them can't even pay salaries. Right. What's more, buying the reagents or materials required to conduct the researches they need to do.
And also, if I tag this along, you spent a lot of time talking about healthcare, like, because I know the 500 billion naira intervention fund that was set up on the fiscal side to support the fight against COVID-19. A lot of that money was going towards healthcare centers. And you said, I remember on past editions of the show, you said that it was very important for the central bank and the federal government to look at building world-class healthcare centers. So this is now partnering
to make sure that happens.
Right.
There's a lot of focus now, but just like Nigerian things, let's just make sure that any money flying around is used for what it's meant to be used for. That's basically what it is. The essence of we'll project manage things properly to make sure that we get the results that we need to get at the end of this program. Yes, the research institutes all exist in Nigeria. We have most of the best professors in Nigeria. And when they go out of Nigeria, they go and shine because they have the resources there. Yes. So let's support them here with the resources and the finance they require. Some of these amounts run into millions of dollars. Yes. But let's provide them to prevent what we're facing now.
Fantastic. I want to ask you now back to the Oronsaye report now and the panel they are putting together. In particular, the Minister of Labour and Employment, Dr. Christine Ngige, who said that the scrapping of some of these ministries, department agencies will not lead to unemployment. I don't know if you can square that or how you think that'll work.
Well, I mean, not necessarily lead to unemployment, but let me even be that as it may. Let me mention Nigerians would like committees. The rationale
was a committee.
That was the original something. Another committee was set up to look at the report, produce some this thing. Now another committee set up again, and another committee. Like we love committees, but the issue at the end of the day is that we cannot continue our lives the same way. Okay, things are going to be difficult for us the next 1 year, 2 or 3 years. Right. Everybody knows that. The projections are there. I mean, it's very clear. So the FAC allocation, apart from this 700 billion that came in this last month, yes, I know that going forward, it's going to be, if we get up to 400 billion, it's going to be a problem. We're going to clap. Yes. So we need to look, seriously at cutting the cost of governance. Okay, he said it did not lead to job losses. Hopefully, I think the focus more should be like, we need to retrain, we should determine the optimum staff we require to do the work of the government. Yes. That's only having 5 people do the work of 1 person. Yes. Now, the surplus 3 or 4 people, we need to retrain them to do other things. For me, that's what I think the message should be out there. But not issue of like, we'll continue the old way, where 1 person, 4 people do the work of 1 person, and a lot of people loaf around and doing nothing, and then carrying costs for the country that way. Let it be that we will determine the optimum head count required to do the work of government. And if there are any who are surplus in that respect, let's retrain them to do other things. There's so many things now that we need to do in this country, and let's retrain them. The agricultural projects that a lot of people can, people can be encouraged and empowered to do so many other things. Right. And that's for me, that's what it's supposed to be.
Okay. How this doesn't lead to job losses, though, I think is amazing. But we'll see how that sorts out. Interest income for the banks with regards to of course, I know
we'll talk about that.
Yes, with the reviews on our banking results.
When we review the banking results, we said that the figures the banks are pushing out are symptomatic of the macroeconomic environment that we are in and the CBN response to CBN policies. And you know that CBN had been trying to push banks away from investing in treasury bills and allied similar products. Indeed, even though the CBN didn't ban banks from investing in treasury bills, but it banned individuals and corporates from investing in TVs, principally OMO. Yes. And then what happened again is for the banks, the word CBN gave to the banks was that treasury, or here treasurers, saying that treasury bills is like a poison pill now. Right. with the central bank. And in the case that you're hungry in that area, be careful, because maybe the next day you get a CRR, cash reserve ratio debit, because it means that you have a lot of cash, instead of pushing the money into the real sector. So it's all aligned with the CBN loan-to-deposit ratio push, trying to push money into the real sector. And so if that is happening, why do you have to have money in treasury bills? And that should be your primary calling. Primary calling should be push money to the real sector and let the economy grow. Why do you go and pile up the money in treasury bills like it used to be in the past? So not surprising. The other thing that happened also is the fact that, remember, by this time last year, the rate was about 15%.
Yes, much higher.
So even if you had the same quantum level of 3B last year that you have this year, the return, the yield is lower. And so the returns are lower. So it's not surprising, therefore, that what the money the banks made on treasury bills over this period compared to last year is lower.
It's much lower.
Yeah.
Okay, we just got about a minute. Is there any chance, you think, with the softness that you said is coming the way in Q2, that the CBN might relax LDR? Any chance? No chance. All right, business analyst Chika Mbonu, thank you so much.
We need to put that money in the system.
More money in the system. Thank you so much for joining us to take us through what's been going on in the banking sector, as well as the CBN possibly, looking to fund the development of vaccines for COVID-19 here in Nigeria. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.